News in 15 minutes or less. Now listen, if you're paying attention over the weekend, you notice that things got rather heated over in Israel as the threats were escalating between Iran and Israel, Hezbollah and Israel. Israel did get the upper hand. My red rocket alert was going with one rocket right after another, but again, Israel did get the upper hand. This news out of World Israel News says Hezbollah's target was Mossad headquarters in central Israel. The target of the Sunday morning attack was likely the Galat base near Herzliya, the site of Mossad headquarters and various military intelligence units, according to preliminary Israeli assessments. The New York Times reported, citing Western intelligence sources, that the IDF's preemptive strike neutralized long-range rocket launchers that were set to target central Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu said the strikes on Hezbollah's targets in southern Lebanon thwarted an imminent attack by the Iranian proxy. As we work through this, you look at this, let's target the area of Mossad. If you've been to the area of Herzliya, I've been there many times before, and you look, you go, okay, you know, it's a populated area. Want to take out a target there, but folks, things are escalating and people are wondering what's going to happen next. But what Israel did over the weekend was rather significant. It was a significant blow to both Hezbollah and Iran. Another article, Netanyahu warns what happened today isn't the end of the story. Israel landed crushing blows against Hezbollah. Prime Minister Netanyahu sent a threatening message to Israel's enemies at the start of a government meeting on Sunday afternoon, hours after the IDF thwarted a planned large-scale assault on Israel by striking dozens of rocket launch sites of Hezbollah. What happened today is not the end of the story. Early this morning, Hezbollah tried to attack the state of Israel with rockets and drones. We directed the IDF to carry out an intense preemptive attack to remove the threat. Indeed, remove the threat, as they did. But as you work through this, just ask yourself this question. When you look at Israel and you look at the Arab communities that surround Israel, and you look at how tiny Israel is, and yet the threats against Israel are out of proportion. It seems very strange. But if you look biblically at the story of Israel, you recognize, what does God say? That Israel is going to become this problem for the world in the last days. Jerusalem specifically will become a stumbling stone to the entire world, although all the world will eventually gather against her. Zechariah chapter 12 prophecies, amongst other chapters also. So what is going on? These things point to the what is going to be the eventual fulfillment of Bible prophecy as we see things going more and more this direction, even the nations that are lining up. But right now, folks, the U.S., at least verbally, is supporting Israel. Even Saudi Arabia and Egypt are doing their best to stay out of it, but in a sense, supporting Israel too. We'll see if we have more news on that by tomorrow. But listen to this. This is a huge story that came out of France, and man, this should have everybody concerned. This is Telegram. Get this, Telegram CEO was arrested by French authorities for refusing to follow censorship laws. We've been talking about the UK censorship. Listen to this. This is in France. Pavel Durov, 39, was arrested on the tarmac as he got off his private jet from Azerbaijan. I mean, when you look at this, according to a machine translation of a report on TFI, the justice considers that the lack of moderation, this is against the CEO of Telegram, the lack of moderation, cooperation with the police and the tools offered by Telegram makes it complicit in drug trafficking, pedophile offenses, and fraud. This is really unbelievable. Investigators from the ONAF, the National Anti-Fraud Office attached to the Customs Directorate, notified him and placed him in police custody. He's expected to be presented to an investigating judge before a possible indictment for a multitude of offenses, including terrorism, drugs, complicity, fraud, money laundering, concealment, pedophile content, etc., etc., etc. I mean, you look at this and you think, why is it? Because they're saying he didn't monitor these particular things, therefore he's guilty of pedophile or whatever it is. They aren't even saying what it actually is. Or terrorism. Well, what's terrorism? Terrorism now seems to be defined as not so much the acts of actual terror, but if you say certain things are bad. If you just, if you say something about gender, there's actually a male and female. There's two genders and two genders only. This would be labeled as hate speech now. You look at this and you're going, pretty unbelievable to see this. But again, this is the CEO of Telegram. More news will come out about that. But very concerning. And then also, you look at that, and in France at the same time, check this out. A terrorist blows up a vehicle at an entrance to a synagogue. The terrorist was wrapped in a Palestinian flag, armed with a gun, sets vehicles on fire near a synagogue in southern France. So I don't know what's going on over there with that. But some of the news we're getting over here in the States regarding the riots that are breaking out in the UK and riots that are breaking out in France, it seems like, from what we can tell, the Muslims are getting away with it whatever they want, the Muslim terrorists, and if you speak against it, you're an evil person full of hate speech. And then you look at this with the CEO of Telegram, it really causes you to have some questions, at least it certainly should. Well, this is out of the expose. Yvette Cooper says the UK government has been too lax on free speech as she adds misogyny to the growing list of hate speech and extremism words. Okay, we talked a little bit about this in one of the updates last week. So misogyny, in other words, as far as they can see, if you don't lift up women to the particular place that some people say women should be in society, then that is extremism, that is hate speech. And you look at this, and you're going, what on earth is going on? Because you can have, at the same time, these are the same people that will allow you to have a man in a boxing ring with a woman, almost kill her, and then fight for a gold medal, two men. And you're looking at this going, wait a minute, misogyny, wait, how does all of this work out? At the same time, you have this rise in Islam where you have terror attacks, women are raped, women are being beaten. Apparently that's okay, but if you say something about women that somebody considers derogatory, which might not be, I guess it's all in definition of how you, what you determine it actually means, then that's hate speech, that's extremism, and this can be a problem. And you start looking at these things, say, folks, these things don't make any sense. What in the world is going on? I mean, you don't see these attacks against Islamic people who clearly oppress women. And you start looking at these things going, what in the world is going on, folks? We need to ask more questions about these things. Well, let's not stop here, because Zero Hedge reports, here it is, for this summer, 22 shot, 6 dead in Chicago during first 3 days of the Democratic National Convention. So keep that in mind while Democrats prance around the DNC in Chicago with manufactured enthusiasm for Captain Kamala, Commie Kamala Harris. A deadly week unfolded outside the Democrat-run city. Of course, they have some of the strictest gun laws you could possibly have there in Chicago, and so guns don't kill people. Listen, daily news in 15 minutes or less today in prophecy. I'll have another update for you tomorrow. By the way, a couple of things. I'll be at Calvary Chapel of the Harbor in Huntington Beach with Joe Pettick and Brandon Holthouse Tuesday night this week, August 27th. Also joining me this week, Tuesday, for the midweek, Monkey Works is going to be joining me. God bless you guys. Talk to you later.